four floors of the elevator shaft. The building looked like an upside-down letter T while they were building it. You can see the elevator shaft here where the flat wall is. It's in on each side of it, the first 4 floors. While they were building that, all the rooms were being built in a factory of theirs on the south side of San Antonio. Just like a mobile home, modular style. Everything and anything you can think of that goes in a hotel room was built in that factory. All the way down to making of the beds, put the towels on the towel racks. Once the rooms were completed, they shipped them over here on a flatbed truck. They took a huge crane and a helicopter, stacked them on top of each other. At that point, all they had to do was hook up the electricity, the plumbing, and the elevators. And it only took them 202 working days to build the hotel. It's about 7.5 months worth of work is all it took. They finished it 2 days before the opening of the 1968 World Fair. They had all 500 rooms already booked. Palacio del Rio means Palace of the River. And if you look up at the patio door areas, you notice how thick the walls are that surround each room. Those rooms are built out of concrete, like a concrete block. And because of that, they say that the rooms themselves are silent-proof, waterproof, and fireproof, allowing the entire hotel to be rated as earthquake-resistant and bomb-resistant. Now, up here in front of us is La Villita. La Villita actually means a little village. Back in the 1700s, the Spanish colonial soldiers came through here and they built homes all throughout the village area. Except for the 2 restaurants that are out here, Little Ryan Steakhouse and the Fig Tree Restaurant. Those are German-built homes by German settlers. They built those in 1850. All the other Spanish homes were actually turned into art and craft shops, making that into an artisan community. Now, at the base of the village here, we're coming into what we call the Arneson River Theater. It's an outdoor theater. On my left-hand side, you have seating for 800, and the stage is over on my right-hand side. We have concerts and performances all throughout the year here. In fact, we have several movies that have been filmed out here, and one of the most popular ones was Sandra Bullock and Miss Congeniality. That was filmed right here. As we come up to the stage here on my right, take a look behind the stage and you'll notice 5 bells making up the backdrop of it. These bells represent the 5 San Antonio missions. The center bell is for the Alamo itself. Now on that center bell there's an inscription on it. It says in honor of Robert H.H. Hugman, concept architect of the San Antonio Riverwalk. Back in 1978 they had a bell hanging ceremony in his honor. They invited him out here. Someone was going through the archives, noticed that he wanted the bells hung up in his original plans that he had given the city. In fact, he turned his plans into the city 10 years before they started building the Riverwalk in 1929. He was only 27 years old at that time. Graduated from Brackenridge High School right here in San Antonio, then he went on to UT Austin. They call Robert Hugman the father of the Riverwalk. Prior to the Riverwalk being built, there was a lot of, there was so much flooding going on before they built it that it ran all the businesses away from here. San Antonio sits in a valley, and when it rains here, and we flood a lot, and it comes downtown. But his plans put in floodgates and dams, and it brought all these businesses back down here to us. All these trees along here you see, these are cypress trees for the most part. They look sort of deadish. It's just wintertime for them. They've lost all their needles. By the end of February, mid-March, they'll all be green and back up again for us. They float on out of here. They sort of disperse and they go away. They get in our crops and everything else. It makes it hectic here. He asked the question, what happens to the leaves, which were the needles? Well, they come in the water, they fall in here, and they just sort of float away. They end up dispersing. Now, coming up here on my front right is a small island. This island is made of the root ball of this old cypress tree. It's in the perfect shape of a heart. The metal structure right there on my front right is at the tip of the heart. We call this Marriage Island. We have marriages performed there almost every day of the week. It makes a beautiful ceremony. The metal structure is known as Father Massenet's table. Father Damien Massenet held the first mass service on the river back on June 13th in 1691 now, and they placed that there in his honor. Isn't that neat? All natural. That's Hotel Contessa there on my right. In fact, over on my right-hand side used to sit an old grain mill known as the Nat Lewis Grain Mill. This section of the river became widely known as the Mill Crossing. Today we call it the Old Mill Crossing. Back in the 1800s, horse and wagons would cross the river right here because the river was very shallow. The ground was hard packed, made it really accessible. Didn't have to worry about unloading and reloading their cargo all the time. Weston Hotel here on my right. Beautiful hotel. Anyone staying there by chance? All right. Did y'all know you're staying overnight in a parking garage? That's what the building actually was before the hotel took it over.
That's what that smell was.
That's what that smell is. Yeah, it's all the old exhaust. Yeah. Nice parking garage though, isn't it? One of the nicest ones you'll ever stay in. Now over on my left-hand side, this is a really neat building. This is one of our skyline buildings, known as the Tower Life. It has an octagon shape and a neo-Gothic architectural style, opened in 1929. If you look all the way up the top 2 floors, you'll notice some gargoyles sticking out. These gargoyles are water spouts. As it rains, water comes out of the mouth, drops into a gutter, gives a waterfall effect, if you will. Then if you bring your eyesight way down the side of the building, you'll see a line of clown faces known as grotesques. They're right just above the tops of the trees, right over the first set of archways. Isn't that neat? A father and a son were the architect of this building, Atlee and Robert Ayers. Over on my right-hand side is the Homewood Suites. Great old building. Used to be the San Antonio Drug Company. 1919 to 1963. Great